Good evening, Blair. How are we?
Good evening, Andy. I'm very good. Very good. Yourself?
Yeah, great. Another day in the office. At home, but doing really well. Welcome to SVTV tonight, our second episode. And Blair, what a show we've got in store tonight. Another amazing announcement today.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. I think we hit the nail on the head with September to Remember. Obviously, last week was all about our new brand and our mission and vision and value statement and all the kind of concentration was on that, rightly enough. And then today we've hit with a huge headline sponsorship deal, partnership with Xeon Teamwear, and we're delighted to have the managing director of Xeon and also a couple of national team players back screen that have been involved in the kind of process.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one because a lot of the members don't really understand how much work has been going on before we've even got to this announcement. We've been, and when I say we, the staff team, really busy on these projects to try and bring them to this September to Remember, and I think you guys have done a fantastic job. So it's only fair that we get you guys out here and talk about the processes and the whole detail of this partnership. Like you say, We've got Ruben Herbert, Managing Director of Xeon Teamwear, and Emma Waldy and Darren Martin from the representatives from the male and female women's female national team. So exciting times to get them on and talk.
Yeah, very much so. It's probably one of those ones. I remember taking a call about this when the two of us were driving through the office back in late January, early February, and it's really from that process and that time that we've been working on it. So it's probably nice from our point of view to get a chance to share the news. We've been sitting on it for such a long time, and
it's horrible that feeling, we're sitting, and you just want to tell the world about it. And do you know what, Blair? We get to do it tonight, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. Another big day on social media as well, with the way that our social medias came out and announced it. And again, we're delighted to be able to talk about it now. So let's get into this. I'm excited. Let's welcome Darren, Emma, and Ruben to the screen. All right, guys. Good evening. Welcome to SVTV. Hi, Ruben.
Hi, Blair.
Hello, Darren and Emma.
Hi, Darren. Hi, Emma. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
How are you doing?
Three debuts to Scottish Volleyball TV. Different side to what we're doing as an organisation. So let's just get right into this little interview. Let's go to Emma. Emma, for some of the members, they may not know who you are and how you became involved in volleyball. So quick 30 seconds. How did it happen and what is your involvement?
Okay, yeah, I've been playing volleyball since primary school, just through the Active Schools Club, continued on right through primary and high school at City of Edinburgh Volleyball Club, was part of the coaching pathway as well at City of Edinburgh, played junior national team stuff, all the regional stuff, and now part of the senior women's national team as well, bit of beach, but mainly indoor just now.
Just a bit of beach, she's very, very modest as her, Emma. Same question to you, Darren. Let's have a little bit about yourself, my friend.
So I started volleyball back in third year at high school. PE teacher was Colin Giles. He got me into the sport, and then started playing for Kilmarnock Volleyball Club. And then I transferred to Surrogatse, where I've played for them for the last 7 or 8 years. I've won the second division and I've won the Premier Division a couple of times. I've won the Scottish Cup once and John Sire, and I've got 13 caps for the national team. I've won the junior tournament, junior Europeans back in 2014, I think, and then was part of the squad that won in the Faroe Islands in October last year as well for the senior team. Fairly successful career so far.
We were delighted with that progress, Darren. Johnny Black actually brought it to the trophy to the festival, and we were saying it looked a bit like the Champions League trophy. It was pretty special. So
Yeah.
just in terms of your playing positions, this will be important for later on's chat. Darren, what position do you play?
I'm middle blocker.
And Emma?
Setter.
Setter, okay. Well, these positions are going to be important when we start to talk about the product design with Ruben. Ruben, hi, welcome to SVTP.
Hi Andy. Okay.
So finally, I get to put a face to the name, albeit it's virtually. It seems that me and Blair and the staff members have been talking about Ruben, and at one point it's the mythical unicorn. I've never seen him. Nobody's seen him, and then suddenly, boom, we're on SVTV. So delighted to have you. Let's have a little bit about you, because we know that you're the managing director of Xeon Teamwear. But what's your connection with sport, and then how has that transferred into your current job?
Background is that I was a professional cricketer way back in the 70s and early 80s. Played for Essex, and when I finished playing Essex, that's when we started the brand, which was in 1984. I'm also a hockey coach, so I've coached National League hockey in the English National League. Premier League with a women's side called Doncaster, and National League with a men's side at Sheffield. So that's really the sports background, and that's what got us into sportswear. We started the business in '84, and we were a manufacturing company then. So we manufactured garments. First of all, started in Essex, and then moved up to South Yorkshire, our base now, which is in Rotherham. So that's the brief. But my job at Xeon, really, apart from the MD bit, is really product development and sourcing, design, that sort of side of it.
Okay, I mean, fascinating journey. I'm really interested in the cricket and the hockey side of things, but for us, we're here to talk about this amazing product that we've got going on with yourself. What sort of sports have you got in your portfolio that you're working with? Obviously, we're here to talk about volleyball, but what other sports are you manufacturing kit for?
Funnily enough, it's not cricket. So we work in swimming, running, rowing, netball, hockey, dragon boat, and rugby. So the key part of it really are the sports like running, rowing, swimming, where we do a lot of technical kits for those sports. So we design special ranges of kit to suit the environment and those different sports. So all the garments are slightly different for each different sport that we work in. Rowing in particular is, we talked about that with Aaron, where you've got these 6'8" guys with long arms and long legs, long body. So you've got to make garments that actually fit and work for them. So that works really well through when we came into the volleyball briefing. Yeah.
So this is kind of the product then, what we're going to talk about tonight, Blair, and we're going to bring you in here because it's leading quite nicely on, is that it seems that for every sport, Ruben, that you're working with, you've got a unique bespoke approach to how you handle and tackle the specific sport element of it.
Yeah, that's right. So we tend to develop, when we develop into a new sport, we'll work with the club and we'll give garments to club members. They come back to us with feedback. We tweak the garments, we tweak the pattern fits, we tweak the fabrics that are needed so that it's suitable for the sport. So we don't go into a sport until we've really done all that development work. And, unique challenges come up with each different sport, so things you're not expecting. And that's where you've got to develop the pattern side or the fit side of those garments to suit those particular athletes.
All right, okay. So Blair, let's bring you in here because you had the pleasure of going to meet Ruben and taking along some of our national team guinea pigs to actually get into that process. Tell us a little bit about how that whole thing came about, and then the process, and then we'll come to Darren and Emma about the actual garments themselves. So, Blair, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we started looking at a potential new national team kit provider, I had a working relationship with Ruben in the past. He'd done a little bit of work with the athletics club that I'd been involved in, and I was just the story he's just told there, that a really bespoke kit manufacturer that really thinks about how they design the kit and they design it specifically for the sport. So even speaking to a few of the volleyball players that are there, that they give me that indication that the kit could have possibly been better. So straight away in my mind, I had that Xeon could be a chance to go and have that chat. So when I did approach Ruben way back at the turn of the year and he said he would be interested, I was delighted, because I knew that it would give us the opportunity to try and address some of the issues that we might have in volleyball. And I knew that when he came to it with the expertise, he would do that. So I approached both the national teams and said, look, can you identify somebody within the group that may be able to represent the group of the players? And I was really keen to involve the players right from the word go, because at the end of the day, there's no point in me sitting or you sitting or the staff sitting and working out what's best for the players when we've got the players there. So Dan and Emma were identified. We had a couple of chats before we got a chance to meet Ruben. We talked about, probably went through a list of what we liked about previous kit and what we didn't like, to work out what we wanted, the kind of must-haves and the must-have-nots. And that was a really interesting point for me, to be honest with you, because I've never played volleyball at a level that you guys have. So I was coming to from a little bit of outside. There's a lot of things that I've done so far in the role. But it was great to sit down and speak to them both, albeit in this same format, virtually, to say, look, what is it we can do as a national governing body to support you as players with regards to the kit. And we got a wish list together, and maybe I maybe like touching that with Dan and Emma. And then I went back to Ruben and said, here's kind of what we need, or here's what we want. Do you think you can do that? And we had a bit of a chat backwards and forwards. So there's been a bit of a conversation ongoing. And it's been player-led from our point of view, the fact that they've said, look, this is what we want, this is what we don't want. And that makes it really easy, I'd imagine, for Ruben, if he's got the chance to say, right, I understand this and understand that. But what we didn't have is we didn't have the, Ruben, I think, called design, the sizes, the length of the garment. And I think Emma will correct me if I'm wrong here, but Emma talked about kit that either rode up or was riding down, and you were trying to fix kit whilst you were playing. And Dan talked about it there as well, with the blocking and your t-shirts halfway up your top, and an off-the-shelf t-shirt doesn't do that. So it was Ruben that said, look, I'll come up to Scotland, I'll bring up a suitcase full of kit, which he did. And it was working of post lockdown. We took all the necessary precautions, but we sat with a suitcase full of kit and a bar within a hotel, and the national team.
Before we come to Darren and Emma, Ruben, that whole process for you, how did that give you how much information did that give you, rich information, to then go ahead and plan that trip, so that you've got the right garments in the kit and suitcase?
I think we really got fantastic feedback from the players from Darren. I didn't meet Emma at that time. It was Carly that came over with Lynn from Beach and Mel from Beach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we came over with it was those four players. We went through each different product. So tried the garments on, give me some feedback on what they thought of the garments, the kind of stuff they wanted to see in the garment. I took the brief from them on each different garment. Then what I do is develop the patterns from that brief. So Darren had an idea that when you're blocking, so when the arms are up, he thought the sleeves here were just slightly too tight. So I tweaked the pattern just to give a bit more room in the sleeve when the arms move up. But also, obviously, at the same time, when the arms go up, shirt rides up out of the shorts, and we put a bit of extra length onto the shirt. Aaron, is he about 6'2" or 6'3", and would normally take, in the old days, would take a large or an XL. now with these athletes are so fit, they kind of carry no body weight, so they're taking a medium in the body, but then they need the extra length in the medium for the length of the in the length of the shirt, and a bit of extra room. And it was a very similar thing when I talked to Carly. She wanted a unique lady fit shirt, so it had a little bit of shape through the waist area, fitted a bit snug through the body, but also needed a bit of extra room of sleeves and extra length on the body. So I created a volleyball pattern for the ladies' shirt as well. So we've got two unique patterns for men and ladies on the shirt. I then take that back to our pattern people at the factory. We've got a factory in China with about 500 workers that are working there, pattern development department. I put the brief into the pattern development people, then create a new block and a new fit. And we're at the point now where we're just waiting for the new samples to come in, so that when those samples arrive, then we get the final feedback from the players based on their initial brief. So the next phase here will be come up again with those comments. A lot of the other garments, the leisure wear range, sort of worked all right. So we didn't have much work to do on those. And the beach side of it, where we need to develop the top, the bra top, and the bikini bottoms from scratch. So we're developing that from first principle, really. So we're starting completely new. And when we get those garments, then we're going to need the feedback from each players in terms of whether that's what they're looking for.
Perfect. All right. I mean, it's an incredible piece of work that's going on. Let's bring in the players. Let's bring in Darren and Emma right now. Guys, both of you have had the absolute honour of putting on the national team kit. This, by the sounds of it, the next time you put it on, hopefully, will be a piece of kit that actually is personalised to you. How excited are you about that? I mean, that sounds amazing to be able to know that jersey is going to fit absolutely perfectly.
I've tried numerous different volleyball kits or national team kits on. I think this is the first time that we've ever been through this design phase, and actually not off the shelf kit. I don't know what's from before me, but for me that's a big thing to have something that we know or we will know is going to be comfortable. Is going to be a massive difference. It'll be a less of a worry when you go abroad that do we have to wear that kit? Are we wearing this kit? We know what we're going to be wearing, and it's all going to fit. And that'll be a very exciting piece of work that we're going to be going through. So it's good, really good.
Yeah, Emma, you talked about that whole process of playing in kit and then constantly adjusting it. Not a comfortable experience, I would venture to say. New kit where we hope we've got around this problem for you.
Yeah, there's been so many nightmares with kit over the years. There's been great kits, but there's also been many a disaster across junior, senior, and stuff. We've seen it everywhere. But no, it's such a great idea to have a bespoke kit for Scottish volleyball, and getting the players' input was just such a fab idea from the start. We're really excited to be involved in it, and hopefully no adjustments ever again.
I mean, you guys have played enough volleyball now. What were the things that you were really keen to give information to Ruben to ensure that we get this process right? So what were the things that you liked in the kit? What were the things that you were really keen to avoid having? So let's go with Emma first. What was the things that you liked about previous kits, and vice versa? What was the things you were really trying to avoid with this one?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because there's quite a lot of stuff that half the team like and half the team don't like as well. So we've done a lot of voting on this, that, and the next thing. Come to conclusions on things like sleeve length, short length, all that kind of thing. But the do's for us were really a good sleeve length, not too fitted, not too baggy, a good shirt length as well. The placement of the numbers and the logos, things you wouldn't really think about until we were really asked to, and the same length of the shorts, all that kind of things. For us, they were really important.
Yeah, and Darren, short length sleeves. Where are you on that?
Same sort of thing, really. There's a big thing for us is not having pockets in the shorts, but many people that aren't in the sport probably don't really think about that, as pockets in the shorts are a big no-no for catching thumbs. And then actually making sure that the material is right. We've had cotton shirts and things in the past, and they just don't work. They absorb the sweat, make it really hard to play. I know I've seen some of your kits, Andy, from back in the day. So I'd rather not be wearing them.
It's extra weight that you don't want to be carting around, especially when you go to some of these venues and they crank up the lux and the lights and the heating's on. You start inside your warm up in the first 15 minutes, you're sweating, and the cotton just starts to get heavier and heavier. So yeah, I think the product that you guys got to try on, what did you think of the materials that was presented by Ruben and Zion?
So Ruben had brought numerous different materials, different shapes, different sizes, and actually, so we tried on numerous different materials, and I picked out one that's fairly similar to one of the professional kits from abroad, that I quite like. I like that material. When I've tried different kits from my club teams, and then one of the professional teams from abroad, so I really like the material of that one. And I think most people would probably be the same. It's a kit, a material that professional team would wear. So that was one of the good choices for me, was being able to try that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my understanding of the way that the process went, you were there for about 3 or 4 hours. Blair, was it 3 or 4 hours?
I think it was actually a bit more than that, Andy.
Ruben, how long was
it? It was 3 or 4 hours, yeah, because there was a bit of prep work, but there was also the prep work in the 2 or 3 weeks before that, Blair, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right. There was a lot of chat backwards and forwards. So
yeah,
and I think it's good for people to see that the amount of work that goes into it and understand that. And I've actually got some of the kit here, and I've got the t-shirt, or a similar t-shirt that Dan tried on. And am I right in saying it? MoMA fabric, is that right, Ruben?
MoMA, yeah. MoMA 135, so it's 130 grams.
It's light. It's got a bit of stretch to it. It feels like a quality material. I don't know. Obviously, it's hard to explain that over the line. But what's the story behind that material? Because that's obviously not something you can just go in a shop and buy. Have you guys designed this specifically? Is this? Yeah,
we developed the fabric especially for us, but also developed it for sublimate print. So it's a flat face on the fabric. So when you sublimate print, you get a really crisp design on it. Some fabrics where you've got some of the eyelets in the fabric, you just lose some of the sublimate design in the holes, So one of the key things there was it needs to be breathable, lightweight, wick the sweat away, and not soak the sweat in, so the sweat dries off the fabric really quickly. And also get that bit of stretch in the fabric.
Yeah, I mean,
a great process.
I was really taken impressed with it, really taken aback by it, and if you can see how well you can see it on there, but it is such a smooth, crisp top, and even just the little details, the collar and stuff like that, it feels like a right quality garment. I'm really looking forward to seeing it in the new Scottish Volleyball brand. One of the other things, and I know I had a lot of chat with this, having 2 daughters myself that are both quite active, was the leggings. And I know one of the first things that came back from the girls was we would like leggings as part of off the court stuff, but we don't want them to be see-through, which you can understand. We don't want that stretch where you see through them. So these leggings, and I know Carly, when she was there, was really, really impressed with them. It's the same material that's been made for the shorts, for the player shorts. So Can you give us a little bit of a background about this? Because I think I'm right, you're saying there was a lot of process went into designing these leggings.
We were working that fabric, yeah, probably 2 years before we got it right, 2 to 3 years before we got it right. Because the key, also when it starts as a white fabric, when you're sublimating onto a white fabric, and when you stretch it, the white part of the fabric shows, and it just becomes virtually see-through. So we had to find a way of stopping it from being see-through, because obviously it's worn tight, and then as soon as you bend over, it stretches, and some of them can be quite not great. But so we got a bit more weight in the fabric, but we also into the fabric a slight grey colour. So if you look on the inside, you'll see a slightly grey into it, and what that means is that you don't get the see-through in the fabric, and I think it's virtually non-see-through. So when we develop the samples, you'll see how well those perform. When you're wearing.
I think probably touching a little bit. Obviously, we've looked at the on-court stuff, so the t-shirt that we've just mentioned there, the shorts for the guys, the kind of sprinter shorts, as you would call them, Ruben, for the girls. Yeah. But what we were really keen to do is develop that kind of off-court leisure apparel. And probably what I'd like to know from Dan and Emma's point of view is when you're travelling to an event or you're going to training or you're turning up, you're going abroad, I take it you want to be wearing matching gear. You want to have that same kind of feel. If you're wearing something that matches and it feels good and it represents your country, you want to be proud in it. And you guys come back with a huge list of garments that you would like to see, from Xeon, which was reassuring from our point of view. But I don't know if you can just give us your views on those kind of off-court stuff as well.
Yeah, we're really keen on being matching as often as possible. We've got a bit of an issue in past tours that is trying to get the same t-shirt to match the whole way through. We've got players that have just been in the national team for a year or two, and others that have been in the national team for 15 years. So there's a real array of t-shirts and kit and all sorts. So getting something to match can be quite tricky. But yeah, we're really keen on matching at meals. It looks professional, even as soon as we're off the court back into our matching kit. That was definitely a priority for us. And to get matching in as many ways as possible, we came up with all sorts of kit: sliders, water bottles, rucksacks, hoodies, jumpers, all sorts. But no, that was quite important for us.
And Dan, from your point of view, I take it, we had that kind of same discussion with the off-court kit and what you want to be having with you when you're going to a tournament, you're going to training.
Yeah, I think Emma hit the nail on the head that everyone always wears different kit. There's a lot of more senior players there that have older kit. So trying to get everyone in the same things and kit that we're proud to pull on, and the trousers not to be up to halfway off our shins. So it's having kit that we know is going to fit as well, and that we don't look scruffy having kit that doesn't fit us. So I mean, that's one of the challenges of being volleyball players, is we're all a bit misshapen, and so we need you need longer sleeves and longer leg lengths. But yeah, it's a really good step to have bespoke kit made for us.
I remember getting on a national team trip, and somebody was handed David Craig's tracksuit bottoms, and David Craig is absolutely monstrous. And the person who received those tracksuit bottoms, they were sticking a foot and a half out past the end of his feet, and it was just absolutely an awful tracksuit bottom to put on to somebody at 6'6". It just didn't fit. So I think the way that the kit is going to be put together is going to make sure that everybody's looking really smart, and we don't have any major kit malfunctions in terms of sizing, which I'm dedicated about.
Yeah, it's that professional image. Sorry, Ruben. Just to say that professional image we talked about last week, that kind of new era around what we want our association, the Scottish Volleyball to look and to feel, and then what Emma and Dan talked about there is that professional image. And I have no doubt that Xeon will deliver that for us, because all the work that's going into it is going to really look to try and emphasise what the national team are doing and really publicise what they do. And having that matching range. The plan is that the players will be provided the kind of core element of kit, but there'll be an option there of optional purchases for hoodies, for zippers, for all those kind of things. As well as that, we're looking to do a kind of supporters range as well. So the players or people who might be going to take in or spectate at the games can get their own kit and watch for that as well. So there's a huge opportunity, and I think that at last count it was like 30 odd different garments we'd looked at that Ruben had been in the process of designing for us. So you've been very busy, Ruben.
I am at the moment, yeah. It's in terms of the leg lengths and the sleeve lengths for the hoodies and the long sleeve quarter zips, we're giving options on arm lengths and options on body lengths. So the girls were saying that the body length needs to be slightly shorter, but the arms longer. So there's going to be a sort of matrix across what they can choose, and certainly the leg lengths on the tapered bottoms and also the leggings, they're going to be options on leg lengths for those as well. So hopefully each player can get things that actually look the part. The sleeves are the obvious one, where that can finish sort of short of the wrist and look quite odd. So I think we've got that. Hope we've got that covered.
Yeah, definitely.
And Blair and Blair Ruben, obviously there's some direction in terms of our new brand and the sort of colour and feel and style of the kit. What's the next stages in terms of coming up with a prototype jersey for us?
Yeah, I mean the next phase is that in the time that we're waiting for the size garments to come through, we're going to work on design, and we want to incorporate your new branding into the design, which we want to try and keep that fairly subtle. I think that was the feedback, Darren and Emma, that on so we don't kind of overpower the kit, but you also still want some design there. So it's a tricky balance. And then there's also making sure that, like Emma said earlier, that you get the numbers in the right place, the right sizes, make all that sort of side of the kit look really good. I'm not sure whether you can have names, individual names. I'm not sure you do.
Not what I'm selling just now. But yeah, I think it's funny to think that we've spent the last 4 months and we haven't really looked at the actual what somebody would discuss as the design, the colours and kind of layout and stuff like that. We've really spent 4 months talking about the hem length and the sleeve opening length and the collar and all these kind of things. So it shows you the amount of detail that's gone into the thought process behind it. And I'm hopeful that this final stage of putting the colours, if you like, in the right place. And you're right, we will be leaning on our new brands. We'll be easily identifiable across the indoor and beach, across the male and female. And it's nice to think that we're going to have all those teams wearing matching kit. And I don't know if that's happened before. Apologies if it has, but it'll be nice that there'll be a really clear design right across our national senior team programs, and in the years to come, our junior program as well. So it's a really big step for us.
Yeah, I think we also people also need to remember that we're also governed by some of the conditions set forward by the governing body in terms of the competitions that we enter, so FIVB and CEV. So when it comes to the kit design, we weren't able to go absolutely crazy. It was a case of there were some pretty key parameters that we had to follow. But Ruben, you guys at Xeon have been absolutely amazing at putting forward some suggestions, and I think the guys they'll probably be really excited when they get some of the options. I know that we've seen some prototype designs that I've came across, and there was a lot of conversation on the staff WhatsApp chat, like, I like this one, I like that one, and opinions. So the range and variety that you're able to offer, I think, is something that we're really looking forward to seeing how it gets developed.
I think I want to see how we actually all agree on something.
But the staff chat, there was a lot of separation. You're like, I like that, I like that. And then we're always having to remember ourselves, we're not wearing it. It's up to get the players. We need Darren and Emma to come back and say, these are the kits we want, because I mean, guys, let me tell you, the designs that came in, they were excellent. They were really exciting stuff. So when it comes time, Emma, Darren, I don't want to be in your shoes when you have to go to the players and say, let's make this decision, because it's going to be hard. How are you going to handle that, Darren? How are you going to take that conversation?
We've seen, me and Emma have seen some of them. We talked on was it Thursday last week? We had the three of us had a chat about them, and we're really excited. We're really liking them so far as well. Some minor things that we might want to have a look at and try other things. So again, I think it's going to be hard to try and find one that we all want the same thing. So we'll see how it goes, but they're looking really good so far. So
great stuff. Yeah,
high hopes.
Yeah, that's why we brought you in, Dan. To be honest with you, it was Andy's idea. He said, look, what we'll do is we'll get a couple of players in, and then if there's any snash from the rest of the team, we'll just blame the players that were involved in the working party. It's all going to go back at you two.
Passing the buck back to me, Andy.
Yeah. It's delegation at its best, Darren. It's delegation at its best.
That's a Libro's best role, isn't it? Oh, blame the blocker.
Blame the blocker. Always. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the whole process has been super exciting for us. We were really delighted that September to Remember we were able to launch this. The player contribution, you guys, have you found it really valuable? Really enjoyed being part of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great step. Great idea to get us involved. We've really enjoyed it. I know the team have been a bit more reassured than normal, having the player, at least some player input. It's been such a valuable process. Yeah.
Well, Fraser Brown, he's looking forward to seeing what we can get going for this new kit. Fraser's one of the national team men's players. So, Blair, we're coming up on that magic sort of 38-40 minute mark. We said we weren't going to keep these guys too late. I don't know if Ruben's had his dinner yet, but we're really excited.
I'm not going to cook that.
Good. Really excited. Blair, what anything else to say in terms of how this all came about and what the future brings for this partnership?
I just wanted to thank Ruben publicly for all the hard work that he's put into this. It's a difficult time for sports, and at the same reason it's been a difficult time for sports manufacturers during the last 6 months for obvious reasons. So for him to step up and get involved in the partnership at a considerable extent for the organisation and to support our sport moving forward, to buy into our vision, it's been absolutely fantastic, and been delighted to have him on board, and really excited about the kind of future of the partnership moving forward, because if we're putting as much work into this initial stages, we'll keep that going through. Ruben's identified himself as the point of contact, to have that, managing director on tap backwards and forwards. If there is any issues or if we look for any changes, is a brilliant thing to have. So I know he's keen. He's using the guides, other players' guides, to kind of go into the volleyball market, not just in Scotland, but throughout the UK. So it's a brilliant opportunity for us to showcase our national team players, but also obviously an opportunity to showcase the fantastic produce that Ruben puts together.
So having that conversation there, Blair, Darren, Emma, you've both, Darren, I think you've seen the kit. Would you recommend your club to maybe look at Xeon as a provider of kit?
Definitely. I know I've spoken to a player before, and I'm gonna try and start kicking off a bit of conversations with Ruben as well, for some surrogacy kits. So hopefully that'll be in the pipeline at some point soon.
I think one of the things that you'll have, Emma, what about you? You think City might be in there?
I've not seen the kit firsthand yet. I wasn't there that day, but from what Carly said, it seemed great. They had nothing but positive feedback for it. So yeah, definitely.
And Ruben, if our clubs in Scotland are keen to move forward with a Xeon kit, how would they go about doing that? How would we encourage them, help them, support them?
You can phone us, or make inquiry through the website. So there's a contact form on the website, where you request a brochure. So we tend to put a brochure together showing kit in the club's colours. And again, for clubs, we'll do all the design work for them. So we've got the design team, we've got a range of designs, pick the designs, then we put a small brochure together showing the ranges. This is something that we'll do with the national team. We'll put a small brochure together of the final range that the guys pick, and we'll do a similar thing for clubs. So we've got the design team that will put these ranges together and really try and make it as easy as possible for clubs to see unique kit in their own club colours. So yeah, online contact form or phone us.
Perfect. I mean, I think for a club, there's not as many regulations in terms of what can actually go into that kit design, so it can be totally bespoke.
Yeah. Wow. I think so. So they probably got more scope than the national team.
Yeah. What an opportunity, guys. So brilliant. Final thoughts, Blair?
Yeah, no, just absolutely delighted. I see the boss has just commented there, so put her up on the screen. Say that great to hear everyone at Scottish Volleyball is delighted in the new partnership, and she thanks Sion for the opportunity. So yeah, I think probably just echo that and what I'd said already. It's been really good, and happy to see how it goes forward, and would encourage any clubs that are interested to have a chat around what they can do, because I've been massively impressed, and that sublimate print it opens up the door to loads of opportunities.
All right. Well, listen, Ruben, thank you so much. Again, we're really excited about this partnership and the future of Scottish Volleyball and Sion going forward. Darren, Emma, from the national team perspective, thank you so much for being that focal point for representing of your team and taking the time to really get involved and help us drive this partnership forward. Massive thanks and congratulations to you guys for being involved in that. And I'm really excited as national team lead to see how wonderfully well we can turn you guys out and prepare you with kit for our next international ventures. So from you guys, thank you very much from my point of view. With that, we're going to finally drop off these guys. And Blair, it's you and me. What an amazing day we've had on social media, and tonight with that announcement, I'm blown away by the level of detail that we've got in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal, and that's the thing. You've got professional football teams or other sports in this country that are still getting strips off a shelf with a badge sewn onto it, and we're offered this position with our national team to design a bespoke kit, sublimated print that's going to be second to none. So yeah, I'm delighted with the whole process. It's been a huge coup for us, and another great week around September to remember. And probably just want to finish off that, believe it or not, there's another partnership to announce next Monday, which we're still kind of putting the final touches to for that. So there'll be another Scottish Volleyball TV live next Monday night at the same time. Hopefully you can join us then. It's been a busy month and lots of busy months leading up to it. So all the team have been really pushing it out there to get this on track for us.
I mean, another week to wait. We've been sitting on some of this information now for so many months. But next Monday, another great partnership coming online. SVTV, Facebook Live. So yeah, another week in store, Blair. But fabulous stuff. Delighted with everybody's contribution. I mean, I really, in this period that we're in, horrible to imagine that we're not playing, season would be underway, but here we are, we're announcing really big partnerships. Just exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's brilliant, and I think it hopefully gives updates. Certainly internally, it gives all the staff a lift. Hopefully, it gives that wider volleyball community a bit of a lift as well, and realise that when we are back, we're going to be back bigger, stronger, and better.
Yeah, we're definitely pushing to come back in a really good, strong shape. Let me quickly have a final look on. Yeah, Colin Giles has came on and said great work. We've got some comments that are just like, oh, wait a minute. Neely Collins, some questions. How's it going to tailor it? National team guy, captain, curious about how tailoring kit to Darren shape is going to help fit the rest of the squad.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of varieties on that side. We've used Darren just to see that extra kind of bit of shape and length, but it's not one size fits all, certainly. So I'm sure you'll be able to do that.
Nearly, we'll have enough shape and enough size in the sleeves to fit the guns, don't worry. I think that's us. Blair, another fabulous edition of SVTV. We've got a full week to wait on this new announcement. I don't know how we're going to contain ourselves. But from me, I'm going to say fabulous and have a great night.
Yep. Good night, folks. Thanks again.
See you next Monday.